Hood today. Do I look familiar to you? Which character also wears an outfit like mine? Can you guess? That's right! The name of the main character and also the story today is Little Red Riding Hood. And now, let the story begin!
Once upon a time, there was a dear little girl who was loved by everyone who looked at her, but most of all by her grandmother. And there was nothing that the grandma could not have given to her grandchild. Once she gave her a little riding hood of red velvet, which suited her so well that the little girl could never wear anything else, so she was called Little Red Riding Hood. One day her mother said to her,
"Come, Little Red Riding Hood, here is a piece of cake and a bottle of wine. Take them to your grandmother. She is ill and weak, and they will do her good. Don't go too far into the forest. It is dangerous."
"Mommy, I will take great care," said Little Red Riding Hood, but she didn't remember any of her mother's words. At first, Little Red Riding Hood kept on following the path. Suddenly, a wolf appeared. Red Riding Hood did not know what a wicked creature he was. She was not afraid of him at all.
"Good day, Little Red Riding Hood,"
said he. "Thank you, wolf."
"Where are you going so early, Little Red Riding Hood?"
"To my grandmother's."
"What have you got in your basket?"
"Cake and wine. Yesterday was baking day, so poor sick grandmother is about to have something good to make her stronger."
"Where does your grandmother live, Little Red Riding Hood?"
"Her house stands under the 3 large oak trees at the end of the road. You surely must know it," replied Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf thought to himself,
"What a tender young creature! I have been hungry for days. The girl and her grandmother can make me a lovely feast. I must act carefully so as to catch both."
So he told Little Red Riding Hood,
"Little Red Riding Hood, the flowers around here are so pretty. Why don't you look around and pick some flowers for your grandma?
Little Red Riding Hood looked around, and when she saw pretty flowers growing everywhere, she thought, "If I take grandmother fresh daisies, she will be happy. It's still early. I should pick flowers for Grandma." So she ran from the path into the woods to look for flowers. But whenever she had picked one, she saw prettier ones far away, so she got further and further into the woods. Meanwhile, the wolf ran straight to the grandmother's house and knocked at the door, and grandmother answered.
Who's there?" "Little Red Riding Hood,"
replied the wolf.
"I am bringing cake and wine. Open the door, Grandma." "Just open it. I didn't lock the door,"
called out the grandmother.
"I am too weak and cannot get up."
The wolf opened the door, and without saying a word, he went straight to the grandmother's bed and swallowed her. Then he put on her clothes and her cap, drew the curtains, and laid himself in bed. Little Red Riding Hood, however, had been picking flowers. And when she had gathered so many that she could carry no more, she remembered her grandmother and set out on the way to her house. When Little Red Riding Hood reached the house, she entered and went to Grandma's bedside. "My, what big eyes you have, Grandma!" she said in surprise.
"All better to see you with, my dear,"
replied the wolf. "My, what big ears you have, Grandma!" said Little Red Riding Hood.
"All better to hear you with, my dear,"
said the wolf. "What big teeth you have, Grandma!" said Little Red Riding Hood.
"All better to eat you with,"
growled the wolf. And the wolf stood up to swallow Little Red Riding Hood. After finishing his meal, the wolf went to sleep. It snored so loudly, a hunter passed by the grandma's house. He wondered,
"How can a grandma snore so loudly?"
He decided to enter the house to check. Surprisingly, he saw a wolf sleeping on Grandma's bed. He even heard little crying sounds from the wolf's stomach.
"Who's there? Who's inside the wolf's stomach?"
the hunter questioned. It's me, I'm Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf has eaten me and my grandma. Please help me." As fast as possible, the hunter cut open the wolf's stomach. Immediately, Little Red Riding Hood and Grandma jumped out. Then the hunter put a lot of stones inside the wolf's belly and sticked it. After that, the hunter, Grandma, and Little Red Riding Hood hid behind the cupboard. The wolf woke up. He felt thirsty, so he came to the riverbank near there to drink water. As his belly was full of stones, he became so heavy that he fell down the river. He drowned to the river bottom. Little Red Riding Hood was then really careful. She never disobeyed her mother again, as well as never went too far into the forest.
In this story, both Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother were swallowed by the bad wolf. This is because she didn't listen to her mother. Therefore, she went too far into the forest and met the evil wolf. So kids, remember to obey your parents and your grandparents, or bad people will harm you like the wolf did to Little Red Riding Hood. I hope you all like our story today. Don't forget to hit like and share this video. If you enjoy watching Bedtime Story series, comment a heart below. And now, it's time to go to bed. Good night and see you soon.